Happy Saturday, everyone. It's actually about let's see, 3:40 in the morning on Saturday, and I'm actually here at LAX. I'm here at Terminal One and Southwest because if you had seen my last live where I complained about Spirit a bunch, there's a particular reason why I'm not at Terminal Five. Especially because they did I mention they suck. Anyway, I'm actually heading up to Sacramento for the weekend. Something that's actually been in the works for a couple of weeks, actually about a month to be exact. And I'm going to do some IT work up there, and it'll be just kind of one of those quick things. And brought all my work gear for actual work, and basically testing the limits of what it really means to do remote work, and have some crazy stuff going on. So it's a very interesting time, I have to say. For those who've been watching lately or been reading some of the statuses that I've been putting up about my Airbnb guests and things like that, it's been a very interesting time because today, the 16th, half of that group is leaving. So, mother and son, Tanya and Joe. Tanya is actually leaving to return to the Czech Republic today, and her flight is 12 hours apart from mine. So I'm leaving at 5 a.m. to Sacramento, and she's leaving 5 p.m. all the way back to, actually, she's flying to Munich, and then Munich, Germany, and then connecting to Prague, Czech Republic. So it's a pretty crazy time. But I will have to say the last few, I'd say probably the last 12 hours or so, have been kind of crazy. So as part of today, I had to go up to Oxnard to get some rats up to the Oxnard location of South Bay Run Rescue. And so if you need proof that I'm at LAX right now,
on public transportation.
yeah.
For your health and
So I gotta
safety,
wait for
please
this.
continue to wear your face covering over your mouth and nose, except when actively eating and drinking. Thank you.
Okay, anyway, so with that being said, I headed up to Oxnard today, and as part of it, I took the two Czech visitors with me, and we went over to what is it called, the Sherwood Golf Resort or something like that. Anyway, it was well, what happens is I've mentioned that they're big fans of certain media, and so apparently Scooby Doo was shot at this particular country club, so they wanted to see it. So I was like, okay. But then, of course, if you get there and it's one of those like member only kind of things, so I couldn't get anywhere past like the front gate. So, I got to the front gate, told the guys I had to go turn around, and then it was like, okay, get your phones out so you can see this and the man made lake and all that stuff. Anyway, that was the fun part. So I get to Oxnard, and I'm with my rescue partner Tina, and we're swapping rats out. One of the rats is pretty sick, so we were actually treating him, and we're just chatting it up at the Costco. And I have to say, in these last 17 days or something like that I've had these checks with me in the house, I have to say it really is a culture shock when you realize that many of the things that are normal here in the United States are completely foreign to them, to the point where they wonder if things are even like these things are even possible to do. Even something as mundane as ordering one single item from a McDonald's. I'm not even kidding. Like, I was at McDonald's. I was in Westminster yesterday because I had to go pick up some rat food, and I told Joe, I said, hey, I'm gonna go get some a quick snack at McDonald's, and he's all like, oh, what are you gonna get? I said, well, I was gonna get a sandwich or something. I said, and he goes, would it be okay if I ordered a Coke too? And I said, yeah, I can get you a Coke. Like, what size do you want? And he goes, oh, just give me a small. I said, the large is the same price, right? And he's like, really? And it's like, and I can just order a Coke only? And I go, yeah, you can come in and just order a Coke only and you're fine. And it really dumbfounded him. The other one that was really funny was we're inside, Costco, and these two don't understand the concept of this bulk purchasing. How like we go in and we buy like enough toilet paper to last us like 2 decades in like a single trip. Yeah, they didn't understand that because like people don't realize, as beautiful as the Czech Republic is, it's a pretty economically depressed country. So like there's a lot of things that you're not going to see that they're coming here and just taking advantage of just what they can acquire here before they have to return home. So there's a lot going on. But so that was actually the fun part. And it was a little crazy. I mean, a little bit of a drive, but it's all good. So anyway, we're in the parking lot. We're working with these rats, right? And then we're working, and there's a lady across from us, and she has a Tesla, and we weren't thinking much of it. But then we hear a scream. Okay, we hear the scream, and it turns out that this lady was actually being robbed. Yeah, like not even kidding. So basically, she was unloading her groceries So she has a Tesla Model 3. It was like a 2018 Tesla Model 3. And she has her cart, and she has all her groceries, and she's unloading her groceries in the car. And she's an older lady. And she heard scream. It's like, and I heard her scream, and she goes, "That car has my purse." And I realized what had happened was a passenger in the car, and it was a black SUV, either a Lexus or a BMW of some sort. And he goes, and apparently the passenger came out and stole the purse. So so her purse gets stolen, and her purse had her phone in it and every single thing. It had all her stuff. It even had the card key, because Teslas use key cards. Had the key card to her Tesla, so she was stranded. So not only she was stranded, she didn't have a phone. So I bust out my phone, I call 911, and then I go over to her, ask her, are you okay? And
please refrain from smoking while walking
so it's me,
the
checks, and Tina, and we're all just like trying to help her out and see what we could do. I have her use my phone to call her husband and stuff like that, and I realized that she's like, oh yeah, my iPhone was in the purse. And I go, oh really? I said, do you have any other Apple devices? And she's like, I have an iPad. And I said, oh, could you please tell your husband to bring that iPad with you when he comes to get your spare key? So of course, about 20 minutes later, because she actually lives on the other side of town, like the other side of Ventura County, he comes, he has the iPad. Of course, we had to direct him as to where we were parked, because this is a guy who was asking about finding directions on MapQuest, so you could tell how old he was. Anyway, so he comes up and he has this iPad, and so I tether my phone to I tether my phone to the iPad to get him with the iPad.
Closed to the general public 24 hours a day.
I'm going to be stuck with this all day, but I'm going to tell the story.
No entry is allowed except for airline passengers and persons meeting, accompanying, or assisting them, and airport personnel whose employment requires their presence. All others must exit the airport. Violators are subject to arrest and misdemeanor prosecution. More information can be found at lawa.org. Thank you.
Yeah, so the moral of the story is don't get arrested, but seriously, so I tether my phone to this iPad, and I have a hotspot going, and we do the search my search my Apple phone or whatever, my iPhone, and we find out that this iPhone's on the move. They didn't turn it off, and so it was actually pinging locations. And but the thing is that because it was Friday night, it took Oxnard police nearly 40 minutes to get to our location. So here we are, just sitting here, just keeping this lady company. And unfortunately, she didn't have her Tesla Model 3 set up to do Sentry and video recording, because she didn't have a USB stick. So she didn't have the ability to record anything, so we weren't able to replay anything out of that car, even though the camera could have picked up the dude stealing her stuff. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So yeah.
All carry-on and checked luggage is subject to search.
So I'm stuck here till 9:30 p.m. and help her out, give her a number, all that stuff. Police finally show up. I'm showing the cops. I'm like, this guy's on his way to Simi Valley right now. The phone's on the move. So unfortunately, even though we know where the phone is, we can't really do anything about it, because the Apple location is delayed by several minutes. So that guy could have been long gone by the time. You're basically playing chase on outdated information. So that's kind of what happened. Anyway, I finally get back home about 11:30 or so. I'm back to Lawndale, and then I spend the rest of the time just getting ready to pack and everything for this trip. And I get picked up at 3 a.m. From Lyft, and so my driver's super nice. But here's the second part of this story about the psycho wives of Lyft drivers. Now, as you know, I'm a retired Lyft driver myself, so I have a little bit more mercy when weird things happen when they're driving, as long as it doesn't have anything to do with affecting the safety of the ride. And so he had to deal with this one. So this guy, super nice dude, we're just talking and chilling and whatever. And then apparently he starts getting a plethora of text messages from his wife, and I'm going, okay, what's going on? And then she starts to call, and he's basically like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's doing this right now. I told her not to call me at work. And I'm going, what's going on? And he's all like, well, I'm out really late, and I'm out longer than I'm expected to be, so she's getting really mad right now. She thinks I'm doing something weird. I'm going, why would she do that? You're paying the bills right now. And he goes, I know. So anyway, so she gets so pissed off after all these calls that he has to keep declining that she puts him on video. And I go, hey, I'm going to help you out. I told him, I said, I'm going to help you out, okay? So he answers the video, and she starts swearing at him like, what the bleep are you doing? Are you cheating on me? And why are you doing this? And I'm like, so then I go, like, I move to the left right behind his driver's seat, and I totally bomb the entire conversation. I say, hey, how you doing? He's doing a great job driving me to LAX right now. And yeah, I hope you're well too. Yeah, he'll be back soon, okay? He just got to drop me off first, okay? It's all good. And then she just hangs up in anger. The driver looks at me and he's all like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Thanks for doing that. I said, hey, anytime, because, I what it's like to be around psychotic people. So, I can totally relate. And I gave him an extra tip. I gave him like an $8 tip. I'm like, I'm sorry you had to deal with that witch. Anyway, so that's the story about that. So I think it seems to be a tradition that I have to do some sort of Facebook Live broadcast while I'm waiting for my flight. But it's pretty quiet today. But so the moral of the story of today is, number one, don't get robbed. That kind of sucks. And then and if you're a Lyft driver, either silence your psycho spouse or just don't have a spouse at all. I did the latter. It actually helps. Anyway, I'll chime in when I get to Sacramento. But Isafu, have you been in there the entire time and just listening to this? I appreciate it. Isn't it like 4 a.m. or something in like Salt Lake City? Anyway, nice to see you. But yeah, that's the story of what happened in the last several hours. It's going to be very interesting. The other half of my check guests are going to be here till August 2nd, so I'm going to make sure that he stays safe, because he's 20. Which puts him in a place where he's legal to do everything but everything. So I gotta watch him just to make sure that he goes home safe to his mother, because his mother's very sweet. She just can't speak a lick of English, and Google Translate's been like my savior for the last 16 days. Okay. But anyway, be good out there. I'm gonna go read Harry Potter now, because it's free on Amazon, and I haven't read it, and I'm 25 years behind. So I will. Oh my God. You're waiting for meds? Whoa, dude. Okay. Well, I hope you're okay. Yeah, I'm okay too. I'm the one who didn't get robbed. And note to self: if you do get a Tesla, make sure there's a USB port in the recording slot, just in case some food decides to do this. Just saying. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Maybe someday I'll go hit up South Lake. I need to ride my motorcycle back up there. It's been a while, but it's been quite a while since I've been back there. And they actually legalized limited lane splitting in Salt Lake City, so at least I won't feel like a complete foreigner when I'm over there. So, but anyway, be good out there, and yeah, I'll talk to y'all soon.